Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Let's Play Cities Skylines with our brand new city. Now let me just scroll down to the map I am going to use, and I have decided on a name for the city, and the city shall be called Klatria. Just rolls right off the tongue, Klatria. It has a hidden meaning, but I will not reveal it now. So, we are going to load in here, and let me just tell you, on my old computer, this process right here would have taken roughly 5 to 10 minutes, but on my new machine, it's going to take no time at all, and that's pretty rad. So yeah, I cannot wait to make this city. It's been so long since I've been wanting to do a proper Cities Skylines Let's Play, and we're about to do it. So, first thing we want to do is buy all the land in the city area. Alright, now we have all the land, and this is our canvas, so to speak, on which we will be creating our city. Now, a few things to note here. There is only one road and one railroad heading in and out of the city, which is, on the one hand, it's limiting, but on the other hand, it also means that people are not going to be driving through our city. So that's good. Now, I should explain what I'm going to do. If you watch the intro video, you would know I'm going to be doing what I call a hybrid organic style, which means I am going to be building organically throughout the city for the most part, but I am going to set land aside for a downtown. Now, I'm going to designate that land right now, but we will not build on it for a while, and the downtown will be, appropriately enough, right about here in the center of town. And I have decided that I shall not touch this area until approximately 20,000 people. So we're just gonna slap the name Downtown Klatria and leave it at that. Now, for the organic part of it, what does that mean? Well, I'm going to start with a series of small towns throughout the map and connect them together and have them sort of grow. You'll see what I mean. But before we do that, we have to take care of some very basic stuff. Number one, the city does not function without roads obviously, but power and water. So let's take care of that now. First thing I like to do is just create a little bit of a, don't know if you want to call this a dike or a pier or what, but this will allow us to have our water and such coming in, where we don't have to worry about too much backwash. Of course, we just upset a whole bunch of water, so we're going to have to wait until this clears. But thankfully, there's no city here yet, so we don't have to worry about flooding. Alright, so I let the clock run a little bit, and the water has all dried up. And now we will put down a few facilities here. There's no reason not to put the eco plants. They just create less pollution, so I tend to do that when I can. Put some pumping stations. Don't need that many. Probably don't even need this many. But, you know, you want to be ready for growth. It's important to check on this screen every once in a while, because if this starts moving down into the yellow and down into the red, that means part of your city is not going to have sewage, and that's a problem. So, even though I don't need to do it, why not have a road going down the middle, you know? You could say that this is the road, that the workers use to access these places. And number 2, I want to put a power plant here. And very often I'll just like slap down some wind farms and call it a day, but I actually want to put down a nuke plant and just basically put power lines from here to the rest of the city. And speaking of stuff being put here, I want to throw in, this is sort of like the ugly corner, we'll say. So I just want to throw in a few treatment plants, incinerators, and also the basic services. You know, the startup for any new city is always a little bit of a hassle, because you have to put a bunch of stuff in just to be able to function, which is annoying because back in the SimCity 4 days you didn't have to do all that. It was a lot simpler, but oh well, it's all going to be worth it. So we have a basic start going on here, and now we can work on actually building some stuff that we need. And the first thing I'm going to do is something you might find surprising, but I'm actually going to go ahead and delete all the rail and highway that's already in the city all the way up to the entrance over here. And I'll explain why in a minute. Alright, it's all been bulldozed, and the reason's actually very simple. It's because, well, I want to build everything myself, and I want to build it according to demand. So that's going to be it. Now, one thing I always think about is like the context of like what this is, because it wouldn't make sense if this was like a real place where there'd only be one entrance in, because there would be like roads going through all these places coming through. So to make it make sense, it's like, what would be the political situation here? Well, what I always like to think of it is that this is basically its own country, or its own political unit in some way, and everything else around it is a different country. And they want to control things by having just the one entrance. So that's usually the headcanon I go with for this kind of thing. And it's a little bit unfortunate that we can't have just a little bit of land over here, but I'll just consider it that the real border is like the top of this mountain or something, and everything else is square. So if we're going to be thinking of it that way, it makes sense to have some sort of immigration control. And the way I do that, generally, is I will go into the wrong menu, of course, but then I'll go into the right menu and put a toll booth, which I will view not necessarily as an actual toll booth, but you can think of it as immigration controls. Like, you go here, you declare whatever you have to declare, and then you enter the city. So let's have the highway come up, and then from here we are going to branch off 3 ways. We're going to go straight ahead, we're going to go right, and we're going to go left. And where will these go? Will they all be highways? The answer is, I don't know yet, because like I said, organic. So we are just going to do that. One thing I will do though is, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that something will be here in the future, so we'll just do that. And for now, we'll just say we won't think about this area too much until later on in the series. Like I said, a lot of admin in the early process of the game. Yeah, we're also going to have power lines crisscrossing everywhere, and it's going to be ugly, and oh well. We're all just going to have to live with it. Now, we need to connect this, and we also need to connect our first area. So, finally, we get to actually build a town where people are going to live. Now, my idea is to build 10 towns, and I want to sort of generally work my way west-east, or whatever direction this is. At some point, we'll run the sun cycle just to find out where exactly the sun is and have these directions determined. Alright, so I've decided that city number 1, town number 1 rather, will be here, and we'll just use the default name that it gives us for starters, but if anyone has at any point any names for any neighborhoods, please feel free to share them with me. If I like them, they will be used. So we're going to create a little small town here, and I might use some different ideas for town development as we go on, but right now we're just going to use a simple little grid. So I'm going to build this up. Alright, so look at that. It's a nice kind of old school sort of place here. Now, these are sort of meant to be alleys or something, or less major roads. One thing I could do that I didn't think about it is you can actually open the style thing here, which is off the screen. Hold on. Yep, there we go. If I go to pavement, they're going to be less, a little bit less egregiously dirt. So that's actually going to be a lot better. And you notice I have like a slight red road tinge here. And I think it'll be kind of fun to give each area its own little color, its own little identity. So what we're going to do, well, you can see we're going to have lots of residential, but we do need some commercial. So I'm just going to put these 3 dots in here, and hopefully they will fill out. We're going to put residential in the rest of the area. And over here, we're going to put some services. Small police station, small fire station, and we are going to slap down our high school and elementary school and a small medical facility. Now, a town like this, I think, would be good for a park, and maybe not one that big, but something like that. Right in the center of town, makes people happy. We're also going to put in a large playground. Let's put in another small, a small playground. We'll put it up here, and we'll slap something else down here too. Now there's a dog park somewhere. Where is that dog park? Here it is. The dog park will... Alright, now that we have this, I believe we are ready for our next city, which I want to put over here in the Foothills, because I kind of want to go back and forth, and having a city at the Foothills here is kind of, just kind of makes sense to me. So, let's go for a different color street here. Let's go for, I want to keep it in the realm of realism. So let's do like a really deep green, like an almost black. I like that. It's subtle, but it's there. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to look like the long distance roads, but oh well. Who cares that much? Alright, I like a road like this, and we're also going to have a road coming off like this. Yep, that town over here was built at right angles, but not everything has to be built at right angles. And I like to point things in direction, just like where might something go? Would anyone ever need to go through here? And the thing is, probably not really. But we might have people coming up from down here. So we're going to have this go here. We are going to have a road coming out here, which may or may not connect to something in the future. We'll see. These are the considerations I like to make when making, what's it called, organic cities. I think also a road coming down here, which is parallel to here. And I think there might be like a small road coming out to here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just create a small little dirt or pavement road and have it go out there. Because there might be cause for people to drive up here, but there is not really a need for a bigger city to be out here. So I don't want to go too nuts with this road right now because we have other things to do, but we'll just begin it right here. And then we'll come back to our city and we will start to build. Like I said, if you have any names for neighborhoods, I would be happy to hear them. So, I'm going to build there, and likewise, there might actually be a reason to build like a farming district up here, but I don't know. I think there's going to be some sort of road going through here in the future that bypasses the town, so I don't want to get too excited about that, but I do want this road to sort of like, whoa, we got the mountain going on here. We're not gonna go too nuts with the mountain. We're gonna go like that, and come what may over here. So I feel like this is going to come through here like this, go where it will, and let's work on developing the roads here more. Now, I'm thinking that this is like 19th century people might have built this, so they're just sort of going for what just makes the most sense with the contours of the land, not necessarily thinking about cars. One of the fun things to do, and I know I might be a little bit crazy in finding this particular thing fun, but I like to sort of create little jams for myself and then build my way out of them. It's like I'm not really planning much of this with like future traffic considerations in mind. It's all sort of just made with, just the idea of like, oh yeah, this is what people will probably do. And if and when we have problems in the future, we'll have to work through them. It's that kind of thing which I really enjoy about organic city building. Now, up here, I feel like this could be houses, or it could be a kind of a park. And I think we can save this for a park. I think we're gonna put a city park up here, a small one, but it's going to fit for us. So let's slap down a road going down here. And up here, I think we're going to get a little bit more creative with our layout. We're going to be a little bit more ungritty over here. And I said gritty, not gritty, the Flyers mascot. But nothing against old Gritty. He's a cool boy. Let's see. I think there would most likely be a road that dead ends over here. And we'll have it come down here. And would we have it go up here? It's likely. So we're just going to have it curve. We're going to have it go up. And we're going to make, at the narrowest point, a little connector. So, what to do about this area? We're going to have that. We're going to do that. And over here, I don't see really a problem with doing that. You don't want intersections that close to one another, but I think we're going to be fine doing it like that. So, why not do that? I don't want to encroach on this area too much yet. And yeah, I think that's big enough. So what we're going to do, well, first of all, I want to be able to, things to sort of exist and work right away, so we're going to connect it with our other things. Now, we already have roads that sort of suggest that they're going places, so we're going to make them actually go places. Number one, we have roads that are going towards the entrance to our place, and that makes sense. A city near the border is probably going to have a road to that border. So let's go ahead and grab our long distance boy here. And you see how there's like a nice little gap in the trees here? Like, I know that we're probably going to be cutting down a whole bunch just doing this, but it's fun to just aim for those gaps. And we're going to make the road go like this, and like that. And for now, like I said, none of this is permanent. This is all temporary. Kind of like Paul McCartney's secretary. It's temporary. And yeah, this is already annoying me. Oh, sigh. We're just gonna... We'll give this one 2 because there's like the least amount to go to over here. 8 goes into 9, so somebody's gonna double up and we're gonna have it be this guy. But yeah, this is the one mod that I said is absolutely essential and critical to this game. Okay, so we have that connection, and I want to make one more connection before we begin here. And that is going to be to our other city, because that just makes sense, doesn't it? To have one town connect to the other. So we're going to build it like this, keeping low to the ground so we can observe the contours of the land a little bit more. But you can also see that the city is right here in the distance. So we'll go through here. Around here, it looks like there's a little bit of a lumpy going on here. So now, do we want this to connect to there or to there? Because this feels like it wants to go there, whereas that might go like that. But then again, this might go like that. So I'm thinking we're going to connect it to there. This guy here. So come around here, and if we meet it from here, it's like it's meant to be, isn't it? Okay, that doesn't look too unnatural. So, as you can see, we have a very natural road going from Linden Heights to the Hamilton District, which, I'll repeat for the third or fourth whatever time, if you have city names for me, please suggest them. Alright, so, Hamilton District. Oh yeah, we need water and power. Back in SimCity 4, you could actually get away with not giving people water for a while. Back in SimCity 2000, you could just not build water at all, and I think it wouldn't make that much of a difference. But in this game, yeah, no water equals no people. They'll move in, the little thing will appear, the little symbol where they're freaking out, and then they will leave. So, yeah, don't want to do that. And just for completeness sake, let's slap this down. Oh, where are these guys going? Interesting. Okay, I think once in a while you get like a little freak thing where people just go... They probably got caught up in these arrows when I was making them, and that's why they're there. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to start with the police station, and later on in the game I'll probably just be automatically making the big ones for most places. But for these early stages, I think there's no reason not to make little guys. Because, well, the big guys are big and expensive. Alright. So, what we're going to do is... Well, one thing I want to do, I want to turn this into a traffic light, which you do by pressing this button, toggle traffic lights, and go, just because, not that it's needed, but the center of town would very naturally have a traffic light, wouldn't it? I think that just makes sense. So, like before, we'll make a little commercial downtown district and surround it with residential. So yeah, there is our downtown. We're saving this to be a park. So we're going to slap that all down. And unlike SimCity 4, where we would be most likely turning this into higher density later, in general, when I build organically in Skylines, if something is one density, I tend to keep it that way unless there is a fairly overwhelming reason to update it. So we're just going to do that like that. I don't think any roads are going to be coming off of here, so we're going to slap down some of this. Now, before I go, why not make our first little park? Now, parks bring in a lot of tourism, so we want to be careful, but it's going to be a small park. We're going to do a small main gate, just because I don't think that there is cause for a grand city gate here. We're going to go into the paths. Actually, we don't have to. We have the city park. We can just make city park paths. Ah, look at that. Very pleasant. Now, it would be nice to make a side gate down here. And that's a little bit slopey. So let's be a little bit more careful with how we do this. I want to have an eye for detail during this Let's Play. I want my city to be beautiful. I mean, you guys get that, right? You want a beautiful city. I want a beautiful city. So we'll put a plaza right here by the entrance. We'll have a nice cafe up here. Restrooms, why not? People are going to use them. That's a heck of an info booth. We probably don't even need that, but why not? We're going to have some... Even stuff like that. This chessboard might be a little bit out of place. In fact, why not put it on this side? Ooh, crap. Yeah, it's very easy to accidentally take out your own paths. And also, yeah, this is something, it's like the bane of my existence. The zones don't reach, or the power doesn't reach. Although in this case, it was because I didn't put the wires close enough. And this is where I'm like, well, I hope they're going to just develop close by, and then they don't. And then it's like, well, fine. We'll just do that. It'll be ugly and unnecessary, but we'll all get through it together. Yeah, actually, you know what? That's probably enough. I think people are going to want to enjoy the view, so why not throw in some benches. Now, these benches are purely aesthetic. I don't really think that they have any impact whatsoever. But we're going to add them anyway because I don't just want to have a crappy little park. I want an awesome park. Also, park names. Something else you can suggest in the comments. Absolutely. We have signs. I don't know, I feel like this sign would be saying like whose gazebo it is, what person it's named after. Yeah, why not add some picnic tables? We can put some down here. And trash bin, yeah. I really like the detail that you can add to your stuff because there's no reason for any of this to be here from a gameplay standard, but it's all part of the appeal, I think. Ice cream van. You know, Van Halen had Ice Cream Man, but we just put them together, get Ice Cream Van. Ooh, a lot of these city parks do have, even these small town parks have cannons by the front. I don't know if that's a thing in like Europe or anything, but in America it's pretty common. So, oh yeah, sandbox for the kiddies. Why not? You want this to be on a pretty flat area though, or else it kind of glitches. So we'll put it up there. The food stall. Sure, why not? I bet these are tourists. Let me just check. Oh, they're not. Okay. But yeah, parks do attract tourists. So I fully do expect them to be in here. Now, let's do a little bit of... We'll do some like small residential down here. Not wanting to overdo it with this park nearby. But yeah, look at that. We have our little area already, and I do believe people are traveling between the two cities because, as I pointed out, commercial zones are often the first to develop, so people will drive from their homes. And as you can see, we pretty much have everything filled in over here. Now, we're going to say that this is probably enough for our very first episode. So, I want to say thank you for watching, and we'll see you very soon for episode 2.